To Christmas. Incarnate Word taking on the Florida Gators. The Southland Conference meets the SEC. The Gators coming in at 7-4 and trying to get some positive momentum, heading in closer and closer into conference play. The Florida starting five, conspicuous by his absence, is Jalen Hudson, the leading scorer, but some poor defense has left him out of the starting five. And as soon as I say that, he is now in the starting five. So Hudson, despite getting some encouraging words to play more D from his head coach Mike White, in the starting five. The Cardinals taking it inside. Incarnate Word, also known as ICW, led by Simi Sox, averaging over 15 points per game. And our own Santa himself, Sean Farnham, has made it down to the table. Nicely done. It's good to see you in the season of giving and spirit of giving.
I am so fired up for Christmas. And this is the time where you want to see teams starting to figure out who they are and really finding out their identity before the start of conference play. And for Igor Kulichov, he's got to make better passes than he just did on that previous possession.
Now, you mentioned my alter ego, Mr. Scrooge. It's plays like that that has put Mike White in kind of a grouchy mood. Some defensive breakdowns, some lackluster offensive consistency at times. This Florida team, we have not seen the best version yet, have we?
Well, we thought that we had in Portland, right? And they really were just executing so well at the offensive end. But some of that is fool's gold when you play and you shoot the ball as well as they had up in the Pacific Northwest. You're going to have games where you don't shoot as well. How else can you manufacture a win? And what they've got to realize is last year, so much of their success was based on their defense creating and manufacturing offense. This year, it's been the opposite. It's been their offense that has tried to ignite their defense, and that's not the right way you want to go.
You're not used to seeing a Mike White team near the bottom of every statistical defensive category in the SEC, but that's the case as that one rims off, and there's Chiozza cleaning up the rebound. This is one guy who has played very well of late, Chris Chiozza, leading the SEC in assists. Gators launching up a three. That was Hudson on the miss.
Well, and one of the big things for UIW tonight in this game is the fact that they are going to play more zone defense than they have all season long. They talked to us before they had it shoot around today. They both, they were telling us we played maybe 5 possessions of zone all year. We might only play 5 possessions of man-to-man defense. They really want to pressure out through their zone, extending out to the shooters, but keep everything tight and have that built-in wall on the help side to try to eliminate driving action.
UIW again in the Southland Conference, which is chock full of schools from the state of Texas. They reside in San Antonio. Shot clock under 10 as they work it around. Down to 5, and a near turnover. Going to have to launch it quickly. Hart does. Just a prayer, and that will be a shot clock violation. Great defense that time by Florida, but again, the story for Mike White and company defensively, it's just not been your typical Mike White effort on defense. You see 12th, 13th, 11th, 12th in all the main defensive categories. They have got to shore that up come conference play.
Well, and this was a big thing. I talked to Kayvon Allen about it before today's game. I said, look, go back to last year. Devin Robinson, would you say he was an elite level defensive player early in his career, or that he was even a willing defensive player? The answer is no.
Right.
But yet towards the last 2 months of last season, he was arguably their best defensive player. So even if it's not innately your best skill set or your best attribute that you can bring, effort, communication, and toughness is all you really need to be good at defense.
It's a beautiful dime dropped off by the SEC's assist leader, the man they call Cheese, Chris Chiozza. Tried a little give and go there. Instead, it's a turnover. Ball into the hands of Keith Stone, another young man they really hope will step up his play. Allen passed up a 3. Chiozza will not, but he'll miss it.
And that's where Kayvon Allen's got to shoot that ball immediately.
And that's the criticism.
He's been a little hesitant at times.
The criticism of Kayvon Allen has been too unselfish. They want him to take those shots. Hayes tears it away into the hands of Jalen Hudson. Hudson, not bashful, and not a good shot.
And see, that's one he's got to learn to turn down. You can get a contested 3-point shot anytime you want.
Gators now 0 for 4 from downtown. They come in shooting 39% as a team. It's 4th best in the league. Adam the double team around the horn. Shot clock under 10. Strong take inside. Good job walling up defensively, but it will be Cardinals basketball.
Well, we know that they might be struggling from beyond the arc, but what player?
And
look at the numbers that you saw the other night. 0 turnovers to go with those 7 assists as well. Only 4 players in the country have had a game like he had the other night.
And an and one. Nice job by Shawn Johnson, the senior out of New Orleans.
Well, and the big problem for Florida, and we've seen it already, and this is going to be the blueprint for every team that plays against the Gators until the Gators can figure this out, and that is protect the rim. Too frequently, even the other night, James Madison had 16 points in the first half at the cup. You cannot allow teams to get to the rim. All 4 of Incarnate Word's points so far have been layups in the paint.
And there is a guy they hope to have back in late January that can protect that rim a little better. Of course, that's John Igbunu, one of the top shot blockers in the SEC when healthy. They have not had a whole lot of help, or really a guy that can replace what he does interior defense. Nice take to the bucket by Jalen Hudson.
Yeah, you cannot just settle for 3-point shots against the zone, and that's what Florida had been doing early in this game. 0 for 4 from beyond the arc. That time a good job to turn down a shot, see a seam, and attack it.
Rise and fire 3, knocked down by Jalen Hart. First team All Southland Conference, the senior guard out of Houston, Texas.
And he struggled mightily so far this season. Minus 13% from 3 and minus 7 points per game is Jalen Hart. A big part of his game is handling the success. He came in, he had success immediately, as you mentioned, was the newcomer of the conference. Now he's a little bit further up on the scouting report this season. And so handling that, playing with a little bit better sense of urgency, I think would be important for him as they enter Southland Conference play.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I think that's applicable to really all conferences, and we don't talk about it enough, and that is that the scouting at this level has never been better. And when a guy does have a great introduction year, a great freshman year, maybe in a great sophomore year, when defenses adjust, we will see players from time to time have a significant drop-off.
Yeah, the slippage is real. You know, and we see it even with freshmen. They get off to a great start, and all of a sudden their stats start dropping. Well, why is that? Because now they become more important for teams to focus on at the defensive end of the floor. I don't think we're going to see that with Trae Young in the Big 12, though.
I don't see a sophomore slump in his game. That's even if
he's not going to have a sophomore. I'm just saying a freshman slippage. He's not even going to have freshman slippage.
Allen on a 3. And Stone gets an offensive rebound for the Gators. 14 minutes to go, first half. We're tied. And look at that thunderous slam right down Broadway is Jalen Hudson. Maybe that'll get his confidence going. Hudson is a guy who shot the ball really well from 3. But he's been, I wouldn't say the doghouse, but certainly his minutes diminished a bit. Did not start the last game because his defense has been put into question. Kayvon Allen with some good defense there, and then a foul preventing a fast break slam.
Well, confidence has never been an issue at the offensive end of the floor, though. This player, he loves to score. He's aggressive. He loves to attack. And Hudson able to get above the rim and deliver the goods. That ball bounced all the way to half court, by the way. Just in case you're wondering. That's how hard he threw the ball down. It bounced all the way back to half court. Chioza on the bench. Kayvon Allen, point guard on this possession.
Orjak Gak in the game as Allen going to spot up and rise and fire 3.
I was just going to say, this is where you need him to really assert himself. And although I would have thought maybe a drive and try to finish at the cup, the fact he's shooting the shot that he just took is a huge positive for the Gators on a 7-0 run right now against UIW.
Nice response there, and the first time we've mentioned the name Simi Sox.
Great name.
Hopefully not the last, because I just like saying Simi Sox. And to go back to Allen for a second, comes into this game shooting 30% from 3. He's a much better shooter than that. Great feed and easy slam for Gak.
See, when they start building some confidence like this, you're seeing a little bit more bounce in their step at the offensive end. Usually it carries over to the defensive end. And that's one of the things that Florida's got to do better, is obviously flipping that. But when they do have these momentums and the offense is running crisp, that's when you know things are going to improve.
Another tough shot off the window and in by Simi Sox.
Unless you give up a drive right to
that's
the
yes,
rim, and it's not really improving very much.
And it nullifies pretty much everything else you said, but I agree. Stone trying to find somebody. Allen, good swing pass, sets up an open three on the wing, and the Gators have come out gunning. Jalen Hudson buries the triple. Hudson with 7 early points, and the Gators out to a 6-point lead. That's just a strong, tough take by Shawn Johnson.
Kayvon Allen's got to make it a little difficult. I mean, it cannot be a rip through one dribble. Yes, you're in a stance, but you've got to be able to react to what the offense is doing. And he was so slow at trying to stop that. I'm glad I can help you out.
That's just Shawn Farnham making a difference in every community, including here in Gainesville for the Gators. Nicely done. I took notes on that myself because I constantly get a flat tire.
Look, if it's good enough for John Wooden to do it, it's good enough for Mr. Hayes to learn how to tie a shoe, because then when your shoe's on, you can catch the ball and finish like that through contact and earn a trip to the free throw line.
If he loses a shoe here, he does not make this play.
No, can't have a flat tire. Nice job. Good ball movement, able to space and run down the floor. The shoes officially have been tied properly.
I would have to think somewhere in the very back of his mind as he lines up this free throw, he's saying, thank you, Shawn Farnham. Thank you for that terrific tip. It set up the play.
Look, if it's good enough for John Wooden to do it at the start of every year at UCLA basketball when he was the head coach there, it's good enough for anybody else.
Absolutely. How about how to tie a tie? Is that in the second half?
Oh, I could do that too. Maybe that's next week. Lori, our producer, let's put that one, file it away. We're going to be tying ties for a coach that can't do it in the near future.
Shot clock at 6, faded fire, no. Weak side rebound to Akaru into the game, the freshman from Raleigh. Running shot too strong by Ballard. DeAndre Ballard, an ESPN 100 freshman out of Atlanta. Had a nice take to the goal, but not exactly great defense.
Least resistance possible is usually not a good phrase to be used when you're describing someone's defense.
Yep.
And so far tonight for Florida, it has been way too easy for the Cardinals to get to the cup.
That was the coach's son, Sam Burmeister, on the drive and layup. Hayes wheeling and dealing. And not even 2 tied shoes could help him on that shot. Ten minutes to go, first half, 4-point game. Hart finds Burmeister, back to Hart on the return. Down low. Jump hook shot by Brown, finds nothing but air. Couple of freshmen on the floor for the Gators here. We'll see how that flows here with a different 5 on the floor, including no Chioza. Hudson too strong on a 3. Hayes offensive rebound. 3 on the way, another miss. And Stone another rebound.
Whoa! They call a trip, but it was Hart that tripped himself up. He fell down, and then Hudson tripped over the top of him. Hudson came right after him. Hart was already down, and that's where the trip occurred.
Second foul on Jalen Hart.
Hey, Jalen Hart!
Now, Shawn, you remember this time of year as a former player playing in the Pac-12 at UCLA. We're so close to conference play, and we know, I mean, everybody's looking forward to that, including these players. How much are they chomping at the bit? How hard sometimes is it to stay focused on some of these lesser matchups, if you will?
I don't think it should be difficult at all, because you're trying to build momentum to get ready for conference play, and you're trying to solidify also as a player, as a competitor. You're trying to carve out minutes, right? I mean, like, this is your last opportunity to show coach, like, hey, have faith in me. If I'm a bench player at Florida right now, you know what I'm doing? I don't care if I score the ball. I want to play the best defense. Because guess what? If you become a lockdown defensive player for the Florida Gators and you're sitting on the bench, your minutes are going to increase as you get into conference play. Your time on the court, your opportunities to have success offensively will increase. You got to pay attention in practice. It's not just about the guys that are struggling in the starting lineup, that are struggling to defend, but come off the bench and be a game changer.
And Mike White is definitely one coach that will not be afraid to punish a guy for not giving great effort on defense. Straightaway three on the way and rattled in by Charles Brown III.
Transfer from Murray State University. Averaged 12.2 points per game and 5.6 rebounds per game at the community college level after he went to Murray State before he arrived.
Allen on a blow by Runner. Another offensive rebound. Florida imposing its will on the offensive glass. Sets up another three, and that time DeAndre Ballard, the freshman, buries the triple.
Best time to shoot a three is after the offensive rebound. Everybody has collapsed underneath there. It's going to be a long run out. Multiply that with a good ball reversal with no dribbles, and boy, the quality shot you're going to find is high.
Chioza on another steal, one of the top steals men in the Southeastern Conference, and when he goes full throttle, it's hard to catch up to him.
A narrow loss at Missouri impressed Coach Martin so much that he actually came in Kyle Keller's locker room to address the team and tell them just how hard they played and how difficult they played. And then you throw on top of that a team like the University of Central Arkansas, who didn't have a lot of high expectations coming into the year, took UCLA to overtime inside Pauley Pavilion and then beat a Cal Bears team by 27. They were up about 35 at one point in time in the course of the game before they settled on that 27-point victory.
And that's without Scottie Pippen, right? He graduated.
Yes. Scottie Pippen not available.
Just confirming.
He is available for The Jump, which you can watch daily on ESPN with Rachel Nichols.
Beautiful cross promotion.
Thank you very much.
6-point cushion for Florida. Still trying to fine-tune that defense. Nice job by Hayes there, bellying up and then picking up the rebound. Kulichev in the game now for Florida. 3 ball from the corner. That's a brick short. And the rebound of the Cardinals off and running. Inside of the 7-footer. An air ball. Knocked around and scooped up by Cheese. To Allen, all the way rejected. Nice block that time, and then stepping out of bounds was Burmeister. Pretty block there by Simi Sox.
Right now, UIW is shooting 50% from the field. Now, where they've got hurt is on second chance points and turnovers that have led to easy runouts, but they have played with Florida so far, in particular in the half court.
Baseline jumper is true, and you can see why they're excited about number 3, Simi Sox, averaging 15.5 a night.
Born in Zimbabwe, last 2 seasons, he has been so consistent at the offensive end of the floor.
Runner left short, and out of bounds to the Cardinals. This New Year's Eve, we've got a great quadruple header of women's college basketball here on the SEC Network. It all starts with Tennessee, Kentucky, and then the Aggies battling Dawn Staley and the Gamecocks. Vanderbilt, LSU, number 3 on the docket, and the capper will be Mississippi State taking on the Georgia Bulldogs. Steal by the Gators, and here comes Chioza exploding in the front court and drawing the foul.
Yeah, he is just, you have virtually no chance. When he's got a head of steam and he is running directly at you, he gets you on your heels so quickly, even if you're a big, and he's smart enough to also know you cannot block a shot when the knee is in the chest. Magic Johnson came in the locker room back in 1997 when I was at UCLA, before we were playing Iowa State. Kelvin Cato was their big shot blocker. He said, look, doesn't matter how big he is, if you put a knee in his chest and you go right after him, he's going to be going the opposite direction, and that's exactly what happened on that play. Chris Chioza, don't worry about your size. Just keep playing. Keep it being an explosive presence out on the floor.
He's only 6 feet, $175, but there's very few point guards with that type of end-to-end speed. 6-point game, and there's a foul on Chiozza.
Yeah, he had his hand on the hip, and you cannot allow that.
147 career steals for Chiozza, the senior out of Memphis. Just 1 turnover and 2 personal fouls on Florida the entire first half. Open 3 from the wing, too strong. Hayes, top floor for the rebound. Allen with a runner. Oh, and waved the bucket off.
Hayes shouldn't have touched it. I think that ball was going to go down. And if I'm Allen, I'm telling you, just took 2 points away from me. That was great touch by Kayvon Allen. Watch the ball come off the rim. Tell me what you think. If you think this thing's coming back, I think it's coming back 100%.
He's got the English on it.
Let's talk about Kayvon a little bit, because here's a guy that a season ago, you go back to the NCAA tournament, 35 points against Wisconsin. First team all-conference, preseason first team all-conference heading this year, was on the Jerry West Award watch list. All these accolades coming in. All of a sudden you have a couple of transfers show up, and they get off to a great start. What he needs to realize is them having those kind of games opens up the floor that much more for Kayvon Allen.
Right.
Don't go back into your shell and be reserved. I know he's a mild-mannered young man. He doesn't talk a whole heck of a lot on the court or off. But this is his team. Chiozza and him. This is the guys that went to the Elite Eight last year. The guys that understand what it takes to be successful in the SEC. They've been through these wars before.
And he's a guy with over 1,000 career points. And if there's
provides some sense of leadership and gets more comfortable with talking and communicating, he'll become a better defensive player just by doing that.
It's funny sometimes when you hear a coach talk about a team, one of the things a coach hates the most is quiet. You don't want to see your 5 guys on the floor not communicating.
They never coached me.
That's a foul on Hayes.
How many times Farnham? Okay, that's enough, Farnham.
Yes.
Calm down.
Somehow I can see that.
But coach, listen, look, if we did it this way, Sean, just relax.
Pipe down, Sean.
You should have been my parents. Christmas morning. Do you know what it's like? I mean, I'm an excitable guy. I'm like Mike White. I'm excitable.
I didn't notice that.
All right. Christmas morning for me growing up, unbelievable. It is by far my favorite holiday. I'm still act like a 5-year-old kid on Christmas Day.
I think we all have a little bit of that. I don't ever want to lose that. Inside, kick out, sets up an open 3. Good offense, but a missed shot. Hayes gobbles up another board. Kulichov from 3.
Too flat. His release right now, the arc on his ball is very, very flat.
That was a line drive, wasn't it?
How annoying that was. My dad was a cop, right? So he worked midnight sometimes on Christmas. My mom said, okay, if you wake up in the middle of the night, just start singing a Christmas carol so that I know you're awake. I was like, okay. I start singing, thinking that it's like 6 o'clock in the morning. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. Poor Vicky Farnham. She said, Sean, go back to sleep. I think I was 9.
And not much of a singer, right?
No.
Pinball action.
Oh,
finally scooped up by Chiozza. Just quicker. And
come on!
Chiozza with an alley-oop. Where did that come from?
The 6-foot kid gets up. He throws it down.
I have never
Please
seen that.
foul something here. Stop the clock. I want to see it again.
In Chris Chiozza's 4 years as a Gator, I don't think we've ever seen it.
Well, he had one in the PK80 where he actually fell. He missed the dunk and fell and ended up getting hurt. But that is officially his first career dunk.
And a pretty good degree of difficulty as well.
Somebody foul. Somebody foul. Turn the ball over. Throw it out of bounds.
Kulichov.
No, that's not good. It's not good. I don't want to see that.
You don't want to see the 6-foot runner?
No. This is fun.
Gators with a 10-point cushion. Three on the way, knocked down. It's that man, Charles Brown. Brown with 8 points to lead the way for the Cardinals.
He's been struggling a little bit the last 2 games. It was the first 2 games where he hadn't shot 50% or better.
Hayes. You know, with no Egbudu, with no Stokes, they're going to need a lot of that until those guys come back.
Well, all he has to realize is try to get a couple offensive rebounds, put it back, set good screens, roll to the rim, and defensively play with great activity and communicate on the back line. And if he can protect the rim a little bit, he really becomes an important part.
Hayes on a block, but a foul on the floor with 2:21.
You know what that means? I really think that when you look at Tennessee, what stands out, Admiral Schofield, obviously a big part of that. Grant Williams is a big part of that.
Love Grant Williams.
But they have depth this year, and that's going to pay off for them when they get further and further along into the season.
Tennessee, a top 25 team. Remember, they were predicted 13th in the SEC preseason, 13 out of 14. Gators now on a 15-6 run. Florida led by only 1 point at the 8-minute, 14-second mark. That was a 20-19 score. Since then, they've kind of opened it up. Mike Morgan, Sean Farnham here in Gainesville. Happy holidays to everybody out there. I'm wearing a tacky sweater, and Kulichoff is missing a 3. Sean Farnham is giving out presents. Just out of generosity.
Yes. Come on now. You know, a little bit of kindness. People need to remember what the holidays are all about. It's really not about the presents, right? It's about just treating people with respect.
It is.
And treating people with kindness. And right now, may need a little bit more of that.
I'm with you. I'd like that 365 days out of the year.
I'll take it for a week right now. You know what they take in Florida? Somebody able to stop dribble penetration. Great recognition. UIW all season long, one of their best strengths has been spacing the floor and then driving, and we've seen a lot of that here in the first half. And Keaton Harvey at the free throw line, season high 17 points against Texas Lutheran. In the last 2 games, though, just 2 for 11 from the field. And so getting to the rim, a smart play for him. His dad, actually, Carl, ran track at Prairie View A&M.
Got a father-son combo with Ken Burmeister and his son Sam we saw earlier in the game. It's one of just 9 father-son combos in Division I college basketball, including 2 in the SEC, the Calipari's and Avery Johnson Jr. for Alabama.
We have a big game tonight against Texas down in Birmingham, Alabama.
Speaking of exciting players, Colin Sexton, if you have not seen him yet, watch, folks.
Had him against Arizona, and those are 2 of the best freshmen in the country. DeAndre Ayton, Colin Sexton. Actually, I'll take the freshman label off of them. 2 of the best players in the country.
Absolutely. Good take there for the Cardinals, who now made it a 4-point game. Little run here toward the end of the half, and then a steal and a foul on Graham. There are the father-son duos we were alluding to. Of course, Avery and Avery over there at Alabama, John and Brad at Kentucky, and you got a couple of younger Terry Porters. You got Franklin and Malcolm Porter over there at Portland.
Yep, and Reggie Jr. actually coached Reggie Theus Jr. in the AAU circuit when he was coming on up. Originally went to South Carolina before transferring to join his dad at Cal State Northridge.
How about that? The old man was talking about a guy who wasn't bashful about shooting. He could talk to Kayvon Allen and just say, do what I did, man. You're open, shoot. Because Reggie Theus made a career doing that and did it well.
I thought you were going to talk about his acting career.
I didn't know he's got some acting.
He was on a sitcom.
Really?
Hang Time?
I do remember
that. He was on that for like 2 seasons.
Wow.
How about those pearls of wisdom that I just dropped? With 1:05 left to go in a 6-point game.
That's just another present under the tree, courtesy of Sean Farnham. A minute left to go, first half, 6-point game. Into a double kick out. Up top, it's Peavy, and out of bounds. A turnover to Florida. Coming up at the half, more presents from Sean Farnham. Christmas past, present, and future with Mike White. And first half stats and highlights. You had a very intimate sit down with Coach White.
It's must-see television, so don't go anywhere at halftime.
It's like Barbara Walters type stuff. Everything but the Kleenex and tears.
Roy Firestone.
Roy Firestone.
I always think of Jerry Maguire.
Yeah, absolutely. Rod Tidwell.
Hey, really good half, though, for the Cardinals. I mean, they withstood a 15-6 run. They've eaten this thing back down to single digits with an opportunity to bring it down even more before the end of this half.
That's a foul up top.
Good foul.
On Chios, but you got plenty to give.
Yeah.
It's only the 6th foul, so 1 away from the bonus.
So now the question becomes this: is Florida willing to get the stop? They got to play defense for 10.8 seconds. How aggressive will they be? Can they keep the ball handler in front of them and force them to shoot up over the top?
Graham with 5. Kick out pass, almost stolen away. Johnson corrals it, and have to hoist one from deep, and takes it home. Count the basket. What a shot by Shawn Johnson.